Hello and welcome to another video about TERA. I've been asked to make this video a few times before, so here's a guide for Forbidden Arena. Let's get started. Forbidden Arena only has one boss. It's a Slayer with a lot of skills you might know from the Slayer class you can play yourself. Even though this dungeon has a minimum required level of only 461, I highly recommend that you learn Corrupted Skynest normal mode first and only try Forbidden Arena once you have a full set of Kaya plus 10 or higher gear. The reason for this is that the boss has a shield phase and breaking this shield requires the party to do decent DPS. I think it is possible to complete this dungeon without Kaya gear, but the whole party will have to know the dungeon very well. As I just mentioned, this dungeon has a shield phase. It always comes up when the boss reaches 90%, 60% and 30% remaining HP. It also comes up at random moments, however it never happens during the 10% before a fixed shield phase. In other words, there won't be a shield phase between 100 and 90%, 70 to 60% and 40 to 30%. Keep in mind, when I say 70 and 60%, that means it can still come up at say 70.2%, which would be shown as 70% in the HP bar. When the shield starts, your party has 10 seconds to break it. Else the boss will do a one-shot AoE with a 35 meter range. This cannot be blocked or iframed, so if you know you're about to fail the shield phase, you can save yourself by running away. Also, the boss will get increased attack and he gets a stack. If you fail the shield phase 10 times, the boss will do a room-wide AoE wipe mechanic and you'll have to start over. As I said earlier, this boss is a Slayer and he has some of the same skills as the Slayer class you can play yourself. For this mechanic, the boss starts out with 2 upward slashes, which are the same as the basic Slayer combo attack. In order to avoid confusion, I'll call these upward slashes basic attack from now on. The boss then follows this up with an overhand strike. If you get hit by this, you will get knocked down. The basic attacks can be blocked, but the overhand strike has to be iframed. This combo starts with 2 basic attacks, followed by Eviscerate. All basic attacks in this dungeon can be blocked. I haven't tried tanking this dungeon yet, but apparently Eviscerate can only be blocked if you manage to get perfect defense. Getting hit by Eviscerate will knock you down. Sometimes the boss will aim this attack at a random player. He first does this backflip, which is the Startling kick you might know from the Slayer class, and follows it up with Overhand strike. This one starts with the Slayer skill called Hard Thrust. Next he turns around and then aims an Overhand strike at the DPS players. All the mechanics I've mentioned so far come up throughout the fight. The following mechanics only happen below 85% boss HP though. The boss has 2 mechanics that first pull everybody towards him. You cannot iframe or block the pull, but you won't be affected if you're far enough away. It is not recommended to avoid it on purpose by running away though, even if you can manage to do that. Instead, you should look at the color of this swirl that you see around his body and sword. It will be either pink or purple, and this will tell you what comes next. If he does the pink version of this mechanic, that means the pull will be followed up by these expanding circles. Getting hit by the circles will one-shot you, and they cannot be blocked or iframed, so you will have to avoid them. Right after the pull, you have to get away from the boss and then iframe towards him the moment he casts the first circle. You should be aiming to move from the area of the second hit towards the area of the first hit in that short moment between the first and second hit landing. On Sorcerer, I use backstab right after the pull and keep moving a little bit further. Then once I see the boss is starting with the first AoE, I use Teleport Jaunt to get close to him again. The purple version is easier to deal with in my opinion. When you see the purple aura, that means the pull will be followed by a wave that stuns and a delayed circle AoE that one-shots you. The circle AoE cannot be blocked or iframed, so you will have to get out of the area of effect. Make sure you iframe the wave though. If it hits you, you will get stunned, so if you're still in the area of the circle AoE, you will get hit and die. On Sorcerer, when I see the purple aura, I just use Teleport Jaunt and Backstab to get far enough away from the boss to avoid the circle AoE. Since I do this right away, I will be safe before the wave reaches me. The wave itself won't kill you if you're at full HP, but iframing it is still recommended. On Sorcerer I use Warp Barrier for this. From 85% on, there will also be these stripe AoEs at random times and locations. At first, it is only one at a time and they don't happen very often, but at low HP there can be more than one at a time and they come up a lot more often. If you get hit by this, you won't die if you're at full HP, however you will get a debuff that slows you down. On its own, this mechanic is unlikely to kill you, however it can make things complicated when it overlaps with other mechanics. There is a new Discord channel called TERA Master Race. It is an attempt to gather all the information you might need about the PC version of TERA and put it all in one place. You can also ask questions, find parties, make new friends, or advertise items you want to sell. I'll talk about it a little bit more in the outro of this video, and I'll leave the invite link in the description below. Below 80%, there will be additional mechanics. All the mechanics I mention in the rest of this video will only come up below 80% boss HP. This boss has a range check, so if you're too far away, he will target you with secondary aggro and then aim a combo at you. First he will use Savage Strike, which moves him closer towards you. Savage Strike is the apex skill that lets you move through enemies while dealing damage to them. He then follows it up with Overhand Strike. This boss also has a Rest Bait mechanic. It is the same as the range check, but it happens faster. Slayers have this apex skill called Punishing Blow. They basically jump up in the air and then slam their huge sword on the ground. The boss in Forbidden Arena knows this attack as well, and it is a one-shot. It comes up at the end of two different combos. This is the first combo. He will do two basic attacks, followed by Overhand Strike and then Punishing Blow. This combo is relatively slow, and you should still be able to iframe Punishing Blow once you see him start casting it. As far as I know, Punishing Blow can be blocked if you manage to get perfect defense. This is the second combo that ends with Punishing Blow. This one happens a lot faster, and once you see him cast it, it is pretty much too late to iframe it. You will have to recognize this combo before you see him cast Punishing Blow. The combo starts with Knockdown Strike. He then does two Whirlwind attacks. This part tells you that Punishing Blow is coming up next. He does Whirlwind as part of other combos as well, however the Whirlwind in this combo is longer than in other combos, since he does two in a row. So get ready to iframe Punishing Blow if you see him do a double Whirlwind. This combo starts the same way as the one I just talked about. It is Knockdown Strike followed by Whirlwind. However, in this one, it is only one Whirlwind attack. The last part is an Overhand Strike. This is why you have to use the length of the Whirlwind attack as an indicator of what comes next. This combo starts with two Savage Strikes in a row. He then follows this up with an Overhand Strike. For this combo, the boss starts off with a basic attack, then follows it up with stunning backhand, and lastly an overhand strike. Obviously, stunning backhand will stun you if you get hit, so make sure you block or iframe it. Sometimes the boss starts the same combo I just talked about, but instead of actually casting the stunning backhand, he will just feint this second part, and then go straight to overhand strike. For those of you who don't know what feint means, the boss will look like he is about to do a stunning backhand, but then he just skips it. At 30% HP, the boss will do a room-wide AoE that needs to be iframed. On Sorcerer, I just use Warp Barrier to dodge this. This combo starts with Whirlwind, and then is followed up by Overhand Strike, and lastly Eviscerate. And finally, we have the same combo I just talked about, but with a fourth step, which is another Overhand Strike. Well, that concludes my guide for the TERA dungeon called Forbidden Arena. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Also, have a look at the video description. Since I cannot easily make modifications to videos, I decided that I will put corrections and additions in the video description if there are any. I learned most of the mechanics for this dungeon by watching other people run it on YouTube and by doing what we'd call potato runs with my guildmates and friends. When making this video, I used the guide from the Discord channel called Imperfect Dungeon Guide as a basis. You can find the link in the description below. I found the invite link to the Imperfect Dungeon Guide on the Discord server TERA Master Race that I was talking about earlier in the video. Last week while playing TERA, I suddenly got a whisper from somebody I didn't know called Iggy, saying that they want to show me something. So they invited me to a new Discord channel they made and asked me to be an admin. After thinking about it for a bit and some clarification, I agreed. As I said earlier, this Discord server is supposed to be one place where you can find any information you need about TERA on PC. You can also look for a guild, find people to join for learning runs, or advertise items you want to sell in-game. Discord is a nice place to find information about TERA, but it can be hard to find the right channels. I think making this Discord channel is very helpful, so I want to support the project. This server is only public since last week, but it's filling up quickly, and there is already a bunch of information available. It is of course also possible to add things and make suggestions for improvements. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Leave a like if this video was helpful and subscribe for more. See you all in the next one. Bye!